Get your hands on a Gin and Tonic G&T box. Enter the promo code BLACKINK for an exclusive 10% discount on your order. Gin and Tonic, sustainable urban gin.
Thank you for joining us on Black Ink Cinema podcast.
Hey, what's going on?
It's a pleasure to have you on. Before we get into your very cool choice of film that you chose, I recently saw you on Don't Hate the Players.
Hey, yes.
I'm a big fan of hip hop, so I indulge in that show and almost play along like I'm on the panel, which I'm
okay. I think we all do that.
Did you enjoy it?
It was fun. I used to be the warm-up for it.
Cool.
In season 1 and season 2. I did the whole of season 1. Season 2, I'll be honest, any entertainer doesn't like to do warm-up as their career. It's one of those ones where you're looking at the panel going, I wish I was on there.
Yeah, of course.
But because I said yes to it, it was work, needed the money a couple of years ago, saving up for a new place and stuff. And I'm like, you know what, let me do it. But I realized how soul-crushing it was because everybody that was on the panel during season 1 were either people I'm affiliated with, I work with. I was touring at the time, one of my tours, and a couple of the people on the panels were on my own tour. And I'm like, I'm positioning myself incorrectly. So when I went and did season 3, it was a blessing that they asked me to come and do it. And it was just so fun to do. But it was kind of a confirmation of my own self-affirmations of wanting to name what my price was, which was, I don't want to warm up anymore. I want to be on the panel. And whatever I got to do to work to get to that, I'll do. So I was happy about it.
Well done to you. I know how difficult it is, especially in those circumstances. You kind of think you should be grateful for the opportunity, but at the same time, you know your worth. So
exactly,
it's about weighing up those two. So it was good to see you on there. And so you've got a lockdown podcast, No Escaping This.
So you're going to be the first person on the public platform I've said this to. The No Escaping This podcast started before lockdown.
Right.
When I got into the first lockdown, I did it every day. It got exhausting, but the first lockdown was a lot easier to do because it was new. It was exciting. You could still go outside.
You didn't know. You just didn't know what was happening.
Even though we knew that we were locked down, there were still parts of us going, what does that mean? Oh, Joe Wicks, he's got let's do fitness all together. It almost unified us in the way that we never realized we could because of the world saying stop. This time round, because the weather's colder, because it feels like we're being restricted after being restricted before, it's been a bit harder. And I made a decision before this lockdown, the second one, that I was going to kill the podcast to start a new one. No, it's just start a new one. That podcast was the first one I ever did. And I want to start a new one now that I've had over 2 years of experience in podcasting and also helping other people do their podcasts that's come to my studio to record. So I said, I know what I want to do now. Studio? This one I'm in now is in Acton, North Acton.
Putting your Instagram, I did love your plantain song because I'm a lover of plantain as well. I know there's going to be a war.
Don't know what plantain is. I'm sorry. I've never heard of plantain.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know what we're talking about. It sounds familiar. It sounds like this thing I eat called plantain. But
it sounds like that. Yeah, it sounds like that. It could be that as well. Big fan. Enjoyed that song.
Thank you.
In all honesty, I think you should just drop it because I'm sure it will do well. Like people will buy that, no doubt.
Do you know what? Maybe. I don't know. I might do a Christmas.
Don't block your blessings. Don't block your blessings. Just do you.
We just got an idea. We just got an idea. I might do a Christmas planting collection.
Christmas carols about planting.
Yeah. Rachel, you're getting the royalties. You're getting in on the royalties.
At least if I get a little bit, I'll be fine.
No problem.
So of course this year has been crazy for everyone.
Yeah.
Have you got anything going on at the moment? TV, stand up, your own shows anywhere?
So my heaviest period of time for TV was August, September, October. There was stuff prepared for November.
Yeah.
Problem was that we all had to stop, so things got pushed back. I still got to do a few projects I was doing with Comedy Central, with BBC, and also the ones that we recorded beforehand.
Yeah.
Right now, I kind of scheduled it that November, hopefully I wouldn't be doing much recording because I wanted to move this location. November comes, we're in lockdown. Everything that I've been doing this month so far has been voiceover work, radio, online performances, or preparing for this Christmas performances. So it's not necessarily TV stuff that is coming up. That I think the only things that are coming up for TV is things we've already recorded that will be coming out next year. But they're small sketch projects that we've done with, like I said, Comedy Central.
Yeah.
It's mainly stage, trying to get ourselves back onto stage, because as much as we're in a lockdown and we're not really supposed to do stage during lockdown, you can't take away the itch. As a comedian, I want to get back on stage and perform.
Of course.
So it's just waiting for that opportunity to happen. And do you know what? In time it will, I guess. Just got to wait for it to happen, yeah.
Exactly. And I see you sipping on some juice there. What are you drinking? I've just got my Lucozade, but you're drinking the good stuff.
Okay, so there is a company called Bamboo Rum. Shout out to Bamboo Rum, who show a lot of support to me and my events that I do. Whilst right now I'm not drinking Bamboo, I've also got other rum in here that was given to me when I hosted Carnival, the live stream that Carnival did.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were like, their whole mission was, Aurie, we know you like Bamboo Rum. We're going to see if you can try some of this rum. And they tried to convert me. Whether that happens or not, we'll have to see. But one I've got here, which is the Duppy Share, which is a Caribbean rum of Jamaica and Barbadian descent.
Lovely.
And I've got a little sample taster. I've got the whole bottle at home, but a sample taster. This is Equiano rum. It's really, really nice. It's this one I'm drinking today. And they're all still trying to convert me from this to from Bamboo to these rums. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see. We're actually sponsored by a gin company, Gin and Tonic. Yeah, and they've got a really good variation, so we might have to send you one as well.
Yay!
Get you on that as well. So do you want to share your socials with the people so they can follow you and keep up to date? My social media is at Aurie, Aurie Styla, Styla. On all platforms, you'll find me that way. Oh, lovely. Nice and simple. That's what I like to see. So we're here to celebrate all things Black cinema, and you chose Soul Men, starring the great late Bernie Mac and Samuel L. Jackson. Why did you choose this film?
Because everybody else chose other films that I wanted to choose, innit? Everybody else. Dear white people. There was, what other films did I got to get them out of my mind, because I saw the list. I was like, other people from previous series have choose other films that I would like to discuss. The Wood, I think someone chose that.
Someone hasn't chosen The Wood. You could have chosen The Wood. It's really awkward. It's really awkward. You just presumed that someone chose The Wood. No. I thought
The Wood was already picked.
No.
Never mind. There was a couple others. There was one smart one I thought I had. Let me check my messages while I'm on here. There was one. I had one. I was thinking, no one ain't picked this film. Yeah. Wait until they see me now. I was like,
because Soul Men hovers under the radar. It's not one of those films that comes to the forefront when I think about Black cinema, or even Sam J or Bernie Mac. So
it's not a big film. It wasn't one of the biggest in their catalogue, definitely. The sad thing was Bernie was the last film Bernie did before he died, and Isaac Hayes did before they died as well.
I think
go on.
Old Dogs was the last one to drop, and it dropped after he died.
Yes,
he wasn't the main character in that. So yeah, this was the one he done the main feature.
Okay, so watching this film as a big Bernie fan when I was growing up. His very unique way of delivering comedy. It was very him. It was very Bernie centric, and he was always told that because of his vernacular and his cadence, that he would never get super far in comedy, and not comedy, sorry, in acting. But yet he was able to do films like Oceans 11, 12, and 13. He was able to do Transformers just for a cameo bit.
I love him in Transformers as one of my favourite characters. I know it's a small bit, but Bobby Bolivia.
Yeah. He's poignant because it's just
so good.
Yeah. And it was sad that this film felt like one of the roles that he would be seen as a larger star. And sadly enough, I mean, at the end of the film, you can see a tribute done to him. So he died whilst the film was in post-production.
Yeah.
So you can see the tribute was done to him and to Isaac Hayes. But if you watch the film, even though Samuel is like the veteran actor in the movie, he steals scenes just by being Bernie. Bernie being himself. There's a scene that they have in there which was so amazing because Bernie kind of just took over in that scene. It was when he goes to Samuel L. Jackson's house in the middle of the ghetto and tries to get him to join, to make their team, their band come back. And the interaction is like 5 minutes of pure laughter because it's Bernie trying to tell Samuel L. Jackson, who's a cantankerous ex-singer and performer, who doesn't want to go on the road again with this guy. And you've got this optimistic ex-singer performer in Bernie, who has actually had a better life than Samuel post his career in music, going, let's get on the road again. And Samuel just being cantankerous. But then you see their almost old feud that they had growing up coming out. It contextualizes their relationship within 5 minutes. And it is hilarious from the top to the bottom. It goes under the radar.
Yeah, it does go under the radar. You're right. Yeah. And it's such a weird combo. You just, whoever decided to put the two together, it's like hilarious. There's never been so much swearing in one film. Like, it's like, motherfucker, every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes.
You can't have Bernie in there and he doesn't say it. That's the thing. It's just how he says it is the best.
Yeah, it's almost not insulting when he says it, though. It's just it's quite nice.
I've never heard it described as nice, but I do agree with you. I do agree,
it's comical. So obviously the film is directed by Malcolm D. Lee, who also directed The Best Man and Girls Trip. Where do you think this fits?
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Girls Trip, so I can't tell you if it's any better or worse.
We're not going to skip over this. I'm not going to allow this.
You can tell me. You can lean into it. Go, let's go. Tell me why I should see it.
How have you lived without seeing a film with Jada Pinkett, Queen Latifah, Tiffany Haddish, Regina Hall? Yes. Like, it's honestly...
Only two of them appeal to me in a comedy film.
Ooh, that's...
Only two. Only two of them appeal to me in a comedy film.
Who are those two?
Regina Hall and Queen Latifah.
You're not a fan of Tiffany?
It's not that I'm not a fan of Tiffany. When I see Tiffany I heard that in this film she was amazing. She stood out, which is this.
I think that's the thing. I think she actually made this movie for me. I'd never heard of her before this. Never came across my radar. This was my first introduction to her. And honestly, she made me laugh out loud, like the ugly laugh, like her, like she was so funny. It was so refreshing. No,
it's fine. So for me, there's no way I can say I don't like Tiffany. I think Tiffany's great, but I like when characters like Tiffany doing the hey stuff.
Yeah, that's Tiffany.
It's very Tiffany. Yeah. I actually loved her in the film that she did with Kevin, where she had to bring it back a little bit. And you could see more of the humor in the content as opposed to it being the wild stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I think when I see that with Regina Hall, Regina Hall, and with Queen Latifah, because it's not the theatrics in the movie that you would not see in real life anyway on a girls' trip. You would see a bunch of girls just being like that. With Queen Latifah and with Regina Hall, there's something about them too, especially Regina. When you watch them in movies, when Regina has like a meltdown, that for me, that's the funniest thing that I've seen. That's one of the funniest things I see in a lot of black movies that have Regina in there, is that she's this cute kind of high-pitched voice woman who's very almost scared at a lot of things, and all of a sudden she has these crazy meltdowns. For her, that appeals to me than the kind of the character that Tiffany would play in the film. I got to see some clips, and I think because as well it's a film that is definitely everyone can watch, but it was more so the interactions that women would have on a girls' trip or could have on a girls' trip, the topics, the conversations. There was a part of me that was going, this is probably funny, but I'm going to be like the outsider watching this with the view of, is that what you lot think of men? Is that how...
Do you not think that's just a bit like, think that just because it's a girls' trip and it's a bunch of... I watch male films all the time and I'm able to relate and see it from their point of view and enjoy it.
See, if they're...
Like Hangover, for example.
See, again, Hangover's like the opposite, where it's like the men's version of Girls Trip. But I felt Hangover was too man-centric, where it was relying on all the men jokes. It's not, like I said, I've not seen Girls Trip. Hangover I have seen, but when I watched Hangover, I kept thinking it's a lot of like dick jokes in here. There's a lot of men jokes that I'm like, come on, man. Come on, we could do more than this. And I don't know, maybe I'll tell you what kind of comedy I like, which will maybe give you a rough idea. I religiously watch once a year the entire box set of Frasier.
Oh, I love Frasier. Yes. So like, I used to watch that every morning, like when it comes on Channel 4, like just time that shit and watch it.
There you go. Yeah. So I think when I know the joke, when I know the noise is the punchline or the wackiness is the punchline, there's a part of me going, okay, you strip the wackiness away. Let me see the joke. Then I'd enjoy it. It's a really. Do you remember watching 22 Jump Street? Yes. That scene when he finds out that the Ice Cube's daughter is dating one of the two guys, dating Jonah Hill. The build up to that scene where it starts to click, where he figures out that's what's happened, and then Channing Tatum goes absolutely skits around the whole room about it. For me, it was the build up throughout the whole movie, getting to that point that made me go, that is really well written. And I guess for me, I don't know. I just haven't, with Girls Trip, something about it just hadn't drawn me in. I'll probably watch it.
Can I just set you that as homework? Like,
I'll watch. All right, I'll set it as homework. I'll watch it.
I really appreciate that.
And I don't know. You can tell me if I'm wrong in saying this. I can't picture Jada doing comedy.
I just think, I don't know where everyone is getting on Jada. Like, she's funny in a way where, like, her character in this is very rigid and straight and very like.
It sounds like what I would expect her to be able to act.
But then there's a part where, you know, there's a few comical scenes that she has, and she executes them well. Like, I enjoyed it.
Jada.
Yes.
Maybe I'm wrong. I think of like Set It Off. I think of I think of Matrix. When I think of Jada, it's those kind of long brooding stares that you can see the emotion in her eyes. I'm like, wow, she hit that drama tone nicely. Then you put her in a comedy, I'm like, Jada. Do you see what I mean?
Her earlier on career, when she was in that sitcom, which was quite comedy-esque anyway. I think people forget that. She was in a sitcom. Sorry, forgive me, I can't remember the name of it.
No, I'm typing it up as we speak.
I'm sure she was, and it was
A Different World.
Yeah. That wasn't serious drama.
Okay. But she was part of an ensemble cast, I guess, in that made you go all right, it's like what's Zoe Kravitz's mum called again? Lisa Bonet would never strike me as a woman who can do comedy, but yet she was in The Cosby Show for many, many years. And that was a sitcom of some sort.
Yeah, I hear you.
I see Jada like that. Jada's somebody who's on her own. Yeah.
We should just watch. I need you to watch this film, and then.
Really? Is it really worth me?
It is. Okay. It really is. It really is.
I heard there was something to do with a fruit that people were talking about. What was the fruit? It was about it was something sexual to do with a fruit.
Yeah, and that was Jada's scene, and it was great. It was hilarious.
But was it hilarious because she was the one showing you how to do it, or how awkward she was at doing it?
Everything.
Okay, everything. All right. I'll try and see it. But remember, if I didn't like Hangover as much, and it's like the female Hangover was okay. If I didn't like it as much, and it's like the female Hangover, then I feel like it's going to be that humor. It's.
I just need you to watch it.
All right. Okay. I'll try it. I'll give it a try.
Then we can have an informed argument of why you don't like it, or you do.
All right. I bet you Regina's going to be the one in there that I'm going to love the most with her.
100%.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, we'll see.
Like and Queen, because I love Queen. So
Queen can't do wrong at all for me.
For a comedy, there's times where I teared up and I was like, why am I feeling emotional? This is really sad of me. But
Queen can do no wrong. In Beauty Shop, even though that film wasn't the greatest, Queen Latifah brought heart to it. In Barbershop 2, there's a certain sexiness in her one-tone delivery until she starts to get a bit more in character. In Just Right, Just Right, there's something about her that is not like forcibly trying to be funny, but she is just a lovable, funny person. I think there's something within that which is like, it's not being forced, that I'm like, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go because of Queen and because of Regina, right? With Tiffany, I know she's funny. I think Tiffany's hilarious when it's not very like
in your face,
all the way Tiffany. Yeah, like I said in that film, is it the one with Kevin? For me, anything I've seen her in, that's been my favorite one of her because it's been her being Tiffany with the things she would say and do, but it's not been so. It's not been so in your face.
So one of your famous comedy routines is the garage skank. Is this one of the reasons why you picked this film, because of the music and the comedy aspect?
If I'm honest, the music in the film is cool, but it's not the music that draws me to the film. It's the chemistry between Samuel L. Jackson and Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
And the humor that comes from it. There's some slapsticky humor in there, which I'm like, oh, come on now. But there is still, it's Bernie's ability to ad-lib. And Samuel L. Jackson there's a dramatic side to him that even in a comedy film like this that comes out, that I really love to watch and appreciate. Sam's always going to be great. And anything Sam does, he's never bad. He's always Sam or amazing. So I think there's something, and because as a comedian, it's great to see someone like Bernie Mac get the opportunity to not just be one of the characters in the movie, but to be top billing. I think the last time he had a billing that high in a film that was a large film or one that would have potentially been considered as mainstream was when he was in Guess Who? He was the father, but wasn't it? Was it Ashton Kutcher?
Zoe Saldana and Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, of course. So Ashton Kutcher definitely got top billing in that film. Bernie Mac got second billing. Even Zoe Saldana at that time wasn't as known as she is now after she did Avatar and Star Trek. Yeah. But it was still an Ashton Kutcher film, and then Bernie was almost the antagonist of that film, so he was second billing. In Soul Men, he got equal billing with Samuel L. Jackson. And it was nice as a comedian to see someone who is very good at delivering comedy as well as delivering drama. Get a film where you go, whether it blows up or not, it's still the film that he's got top billing in, get his opportunity to move. Yeah. And I think that for me was what it was. As a comedian, you always want to see when someone who has done either comedy writing, performances, get that top billing, whether it's someone that's from your area, someone that's from your city, or somebody that's within the same field that you also are in.
Yeah. And we've seen how long he's been at it, and, for him to get that opportunity was quite nice. And I think everyone kind of celebrated in that. And then it being one of his last films as well was just like, bittersweet all at the same time. Did
you ever see the outtakes or the after credit bits with him?
No, I didn't. I can imagine they would be absolutely hilarious.
So one thing he does, which I wholeheartedly, not only do I do when I can, but it's something that I think is the best thing you can do as an entertainer of some sort when you have other people that are there around you. When they're in between takes, there isn't someone keeping the crowd warm. Bernie goes to the microphone when they move cameras around and whatsoever, and he basically does comedy for all the people in the audience. So whilst I've done movies before where between takes you've got to go backstage to greet to your trailer or whatever it is that you're doing. Bernie said, no, there's an audience here. I'm going to go and have some fun, to the point where directors and assistant directors will come up to him and say, all right, we're ready to shoot the next scene. And he's like, well, I'm not finished. And he carry on performing for that crowd that were there just to stop them from feeling like you are the crowd, I am the act, and also you're waiting on me. And I've got a friend who's in that movie as well, who's told me stories about just what Bernie was like in that film. Bernie and Sam Jackson actually like having to work with him, and like the stories that I hear from this guy is like, you know what, I got so much time and respect for these people, for what he does. And I guess that's why he was so loved by so many.
Yeah, I've literally never heard a bad word said about Bernie ever.
Exactly.
So that's testament to his character, for sure. So what did you think about Sam J and Bernie Mac singing?
I think it sounded like two old men who enjoy a song or two that don't really know how to hit all the notes. You had John Legend in there. You put them next to John Legend, you're not going to be able to
on top of that.
him.
Yeah,
exactly.
That was a comical part. I felt like they did that obviously intentionally. It was you have someone like John Legend, and then they're the backup, and then they angry as well that he went off on his own to kind of pursue his solo career. But it was like you were never on his level.
If you're John Legend, take John Legend out of real life and just see the ability John Legend would have had in that film. Of course he's going to go solo.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
It was kind of like, for me though, I was watching my uncles be sexy, and it was a very awkward experience. Like, I don't want to see my uncles do all of that. Like, it was the whining on the stage. No one wants to
come here.
No.
You have to dance with Uncle. Yeah.
Great.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Hey.
And you just saw them like relaxing more and more as the film went on and getting into the groove. And I did love the whole soul music aspect of it. Did you have any songs that stood out? I know you were saying the music wasn't the biggest part for you, but
there's Boogie Ain't Nothing But the Get Down. There's
love how you know the songs.
There's I'm Your Puppet.
Are you into soul music in general?
I don't mind soul music, but for me, I'm actually into movie soundtracks more than anything else.
Oh, I love movie soundtracks. That is my jam.
So for me, when I hear songs in a movie, even if it is based on real music, like if like Into the Spider-Verse was made up of music predominantly that was actual songs from young artists, the music and how they relate to the movie and why that selection of music is chosen is almost an art form that I admire so much. So for me, that was one of the things that about this movie that I like. Like they had songs like I Got Boogie For You, Just Dropped In, Memphis Train. They did that I'm Your Puppet and stuff like that. It was very soulful stuff that was really nice, and it characterized them very well because even though they were very cantankerous, it was almost, you could see the generation above me what they enjoyed about music around that time. It was very wholesome. It was very lovey-dovey music that they would have. It wouldn't be like, it would go, pull my strings, if you want me to move, I'm your puppet, right? Which is very different from, pussy smell like tastes like macaroni and cheese or something like that, or sound like.
Yes, okay. That was, I don't know where those lyrics from.
WAP, that's WAP.
Those are not the lyrics from WAP.
There is a line in WAP about the vagina sounding like macaroni and cheese.
You really listened to this track.
It was number one in the charts. Everybody really listened to this track.
I mean,
it sounded, and can I just say it? I've said this on the stage. If you ever compare yourself to macaroni and cheese, you need to see someone. The texture and consistency that macaroni and cheese has is so sticky. You don't want to sound like that. Do you know what kind of dehydration you have to sound like macaroni and cheese?
I'm going to make my lashes come off. I mean, listen, that's her WAP. That is I'm not involved. That is between her and her WAP. And her
gynecologist. Anyway, Karen.
Yeah, that's between them. I'm not involved with that. So I'm sure you're aware we're going to have to talk about Sam J's hair in this.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
His cornrows.
Yes.
He's known for switching it up time to time, having his wild hair in Glass, for example, Jerry curls in Pulp Fiction,
51st State.
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown as well, yeah. What was his hair like in Jumper again? I'm sure, if I remember him in Jumper,
I don't know what happened, but
he had white hair that looked like it looked like an action figure, like a G.I. Joe would have.
Yes,
very short,
I remember
but it was
serious lace.
Yes, it was white.
Yes.
Sam's always kind of been the guy who would change around his hair and stuff. Ain't
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Pulp Fiction
No, not
with
at all.
Jericho and that. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's play character.
It suits the character, exactly. Do you have any regrettable hairstyles that you want to touch upon?
For a movie once, when I was about 19 or 20, they wanted to make us look a bit more retro. Black retro. They thought, I think they Googled what black retro could potentially look like.
That's dangerous.
And saw some soul or whatsoever. Or they gave me this European-esque kind of perm in my head. My hair was like only like a high top, and it just made it straight so they could make it look like I could get like a little kind of shiny Mohican with the hair. That was one. I tried to style it for a couple of weeks after that. That never worked.
Was it Drogba-esque at some point? I'm sure
it wasn't as long as Drogba, which made it almost passable, but never again. So
obviously the storyline in Soul Men with the best friends breaking up and going to separate ways because they were in love with the same woman, which is quite awkward situation. There was a child as well involved. Yeah. Have you witnessed anything similar to this, or any of your friends been in an entanglement like that?
Do I support equal pay? Of course I do.
I see.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Do I support black women? 100. You're asking me questions like this for, man.
Good comeback. Good.
Do you know what? I'm not even going to do that. I'll be honest. Yeah. I always said on the podcast, if I can be honest, I'll be honest. Rags.
Rags, I love it. Yeah.
There was a friend of mine I'm not friends with anymore for the reasons I'm about to explain. Not necessarily the reasons I'm about to explain. It's a bit worse than this at times. There was a woman that I dated that we were not compatible.
Okay.
But we were young. This is over 10 years ago now. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be 33. So I was 23, 22 at this time, right? Not compatible. But because we started checking each other, and who told me, right? You know, someone said, and the someone was her, we're not seeing anybody else right now. Why don't we just make this official? And something in my head said, that's a good idea. I don't know what told me that, right? Anyway, it was the person was not in a great place in her life. I was new to the idea of a proper relationship because I was just coming out of my young, like teens to going into the early 20s. I'm still studying at university. You think, you know, a relationship is around them times. Some get it right, some don't. For me, I wasn't getting it right. But I was going to try this one. We were two very different people. I say this as a joke, not on stage, but to people that I just talked to. I say this as a joke. We're two very different people because I'm a Christian and she's a devil. But no, I'm joking. No, that's just fun. That's bad.
Noted.
That's just bad. Right? But it was only about 7 or 8 months that we were together. Straight after me, one of my closest friends who I was with all the time, his close friend. So by extension, we are all one circle now. Yeah. So you stayed at my yard. We've all done New Year's together where it's me at an event and I bring you lot through and we all got one big penthouse hotel. This is where we're going to go to the event, come back for New Year's. I find out about a month after them two got together. Right? I didn't find out until maybe a few months after. Remember, I'm at university. What happens is, this is like September, October. Come like January now, innit? Right? After being at uni, September, you go back to uni. Come January, my guy never went uni. He was working, right? He's come out of college and went straight to work, but I went uni. Come January, I'm in my head like, I ain't really heard from my man for a minute, you know. Let me go on BBM. That's how far back it was. Let me go on BBM and drop him a message. And I drop him and say, yo, cuzzy, long time, mate. We ain't linked up. What's going on? We need to see each other. It's been a minute. I've been studying because this is like I think it was my last year of uni, I think. I look at his status, innit, on his BBM, and I see initials, 4 letters. And I was like, I know them letters. I look at the picture. In the picture, I see a picture of him hugging someone with a particular tattoo. I'm like, I know that tattoo. So I call up one of my family friends who also, the reason I met her was through a family friend who is also her family friend, right? I call up and say, yo, is someone seeing someone? Family friend goes, yeah. And I said, what's the name of the guy? Tells me the name after going, it's a weird way of spelling it, but the name is, let's just go Barry. It's not Barry, but let's say Barry.
Yes.
It's the same person. So I go back to BBM afterwards. I'm like, I just seen the display pic. Don't worry about what I just said. Left it at that. I wasn't even vexed at him because you know what hell I went through. Why would you want to put yourself through that straight afterwards, right? They didn't last. It lasted for about a year because her thing was after that is she'd always battled with this. Her thing after that was she liked both men and women. After him, she said, I'm going for women. And I'm not going to lie to you. As much as that, for me, I was like, she took the liberty and my guy never said nothing to me. I would never want to be the person that my ex says to me, I'm done with men now. You have made me realize I'm going for women. I would never want to be the final example.
You're like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Imagine being the thank you. Imagine being the last straw where someone goes, that's it, done with men.
That's quite serious, you know.
It's a very serious issue. I can make light of it only from an aspect of if you don't make light of it, you hold on to the negatives.
Yes.
I can look at it and go, it happened, it is what it is. If I see him, I say hello, I say you cool, whatever, but there's no relationship anymore. I think the biggest breakdown was my guy who was my guy in the middle. Yeah. He knew.
And he didn't tell you.
He didn't say nothing. I respect that to a degree because it's not for him to say. The other guy needs to come to me and say something. But again, it was always a bit funny after that. And I still see the guy in the middle, not to check or whatsoever, but if I do bump into him, I'll have a longer combo. He's almost like family. That happened. But because people are on their different pathways and so on, it is what it is. I'm not vexed about it. If I see her now, I can still say hello. She's reached out many a time to go, I see you're doing really well and it's really nice to see you and blah, 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 blah. And I'll be honest, I don't really want to engage in a conversation because the toxicity of that person is still there to the point that all my family friends that were close with her, none of them chill with her because of the way she has moved with her friends and so on and how she's dealt with people. That's separate to mine and her relationship, but because of that toxicity, I'm like, cool.
Not involved.
I could talk about topics like that. You will never know who the person is. But if it's my story, I have every right to talk, but I won't bring it in.
100%.
Do you see what I'm saying?
In that situation, what hurts most is just no one had the respect to tell you. Like, if you're going to do your fuckeries, like, at least just give me a heads up. And then I can process it instead of finding out that way. It's just the rudeness. Like
some people don't like when an ex dates your ex. when your friend dates your ex. I'm not saying I like it, but if a guy came up to me and said to me, "Look, I know you and her were together. I'm your friend. We click. Would you be okay?" I have to put my hands up and say, even if I feel a bit uncomfortable, that's my issue. I'm not with her. It's not down to me to say anything, even though I may look at you and be like, rah, hold on. But I would never say no because one, I have no right to say no.
Exactly. But at least they had the respect to come and have that conversation with you, which then allows you to continue to have this relationship with someone rather than being sneaky and sly. It stops any build of a relationship or even trying to sort it out because it's like, if I can't trust you, to be honest with me, is there a point?
Exactly. That's the thing that that was my only thing with it. It's just, you should have said, you could have said something. And even when I messaged, you could have said something as well.
Yeah, there's so many shady people.
Yeah, I found out later there was a crossover as well. That was much later though. Yeah. Like the last couple of months where me and her were just knocking heads and that there was a crossover.
I just think.
For me, but it doesn't affect me. For me, it just kind of it confirmed. It was like So what I was seeing is what was going on. And I was okay with it in the end. It was never a problem to me. It was more just, I found that out much later. Whereas at the time I could have found out and I might have been a bit more angry at my guy. But it's not, again, I look at the people and I hope that they're good in their life. In fact, one of them, he's doing okay. He's cool. He's a father. He's, I don't know his work situation, but he's always a graft. They all get work done. And as long as he's happy. For her, I don't know what's going on with her, but I can't assume anything bad's going on, or else it probably would have gone through the grapevine. As far as I'm concerned, as long as they're good and they're happy, I'm happy as well. And we've all moved on. This is like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be the closest to a situation like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is, it's tough. And, you know, but you handled it like a G. So that is, you just got to leave karma and the universe to do its thing, really, when
100%.
People behave like that. You can't control people's behaviours, and you can only do your part. Going back to Soul Men, I have so many great scenes in there. One of my favourite scenes has to be the coffin scene. And it's really awkward, but it's such a sweet moment. Do you have any favourite scenes?
Again, it's when they first meet up again after so many years and they have their interaction. It's Bernie Max. It's Bernie's reaction to everything that Sam's saying. It's the bit when he goes he goes into the house. He said, "You got a pantry full of dog food, and there's no dog. I don't see a dog in here." It's all the little things like that, which is hilarious. It's such a good interaction that they have. That has to be my favorite bit because it's full of humor. You can see there's one bit where Bernie wanted to break character and laugh.
There was a few moments like that, and there was a point when Sam J wanted to laugh as well. I think Bernie does something and Sam is literally biting his lip to stop himself from laughing.
This is it. And I think that interaction was great. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, where's the line? It was so genuine. Right.
One of my other favourite scenes is when Stifler's mom, when one of them's with Stifler's mom and the other one's with the daughter. I think Bernie Mac with Stifler's mom. I say Stifler's mom because that's my only reference point to her.
I know who you're talking about. When they're it's when they're in the balcony.
Yeah, and then they have then the husband comes and it gets all crazy, and it was just like these uncles, behave yourself. Why are you behaving like this?
And he had the younger one.
Sam's grabbing her butt. It's so wrong. So wrong.
It was classic. Come on, it was funny. I love the fact that she's in every black movie as the typical white woman.
I don't even understand how she's managed to. I love her character because she's the same in everything. Two Broke Girls.
Oh,
she was the same character.
Down to earth.
Same character. She's just, I love it. God. Legally Blonde. I mean,
I'm laughing. It's in my head. Just that bit when she saw Chastity, Mom. Oh, mate, that bit.
Awkward is that? Jeez.
Is it awkward? Could I think of a situation?
Yes, that is awkward. There's no way me and my daughter I'll die in that moment.
I'm not saying that it's right, innit? I'm not saying it at all. However, I feel like in 2020, if I heard, no, I can't even say this story.
I was waiting for you to finish what you're about to say.
It's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about me. I'm not going to say the whole story either. I'm only going to give you a basic summary. I know people who the mum is dating someone. I mean, the mum and the daughter, the age is not a big gap. It's like 18, 19 years. So it's quite a young mum. The mum is dating someone and the daughter is dating someone. And those two men are only like a couple years age difference because mum's dated someone that's younger, daughter's dated someone that's older. That's why it's perfectly feasible that can happen.
Yeah, but those were two relatively older gentlemen. So it's awkward.
I understand why you say that. So for me, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's right or wrong.
No, I'm not saying it's right. Each to their own. Hey, do what you got to do.
Can I big up someone who's in the movie, please?
Yes, please.
A friend of mine, a comedian friend, Affion Crockett. He plays Lester the Court Jester, the daughter's boyfriend.
Oh, he's hilarious. Yes. Yeah.
My name is Lester the Court Jester. Yeah. Him. Yeah.
He's so funny.
He's funny. He's a friend.
I like Jay-Z's
he does impressions really, really well.
So good.
Do you know he's done so many voices on the Boondocks, right? And they're all different voices of different characters and stuff. And I met him doing a comedy tour in the UK, and he was the headliner. We became friends from them. We still stay in touch.
Oh, nice.
And like hearing the voices, I'm a massive you don't understand. My wake up alarm is the intro to the Boondocks. It's a mantra that I say to myself, right? Hold on, let me show you. The background on my phone that's Riley's. That's Riley. And then you see the other background here, that's Huey, right?
You're a fan.
I'm a massive Boondocks fan because of just what its cultural relevance to myself and to the Black community, I would say, in this country and particularly in America, in the noughties, right? Hearing Affion in that and then meeting him and then not going back to what characters he's played in it, for me, that was the thing that made me go, oh my God, you're the guy who done the voice of. Not even, he's been in so many movies, I've seen him stand up so many times, but for me it was, you're Affion. The first time I met him was like, I loved when you did this voice, and so on. Yeah. And it's because of how great he is at creating characters with voices. It was such a good kind of connection that I saw between the voices in it and meeting the face. It was really nice.
Oh, it's such a nice story to hear. I love hearing stuff like that. So Soul Men is a light-hearted, fun film, great for escapism. If you had to direct someone to YouTube to watch a clip to entice them to watch the movie, what clip would it be and why?
It'd be the clip. It'd be the 5-minute clip of them doing when they first meet up after many, many years, or it would be the interaction between them when they sing with the daughter for the first time. And they do the song, which is it's a slower song.
I do like that scene with the daughter. That's quite sweet.
It's really nice. And it's the clip just before that when they see Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
But when Millie Jackson was there and she slapped him across his face, that interaction, I would say that would give you a good indication as to what kind of humor you're going to get in the movie. And if you like Bernie, if you like Sam, it would be those ones that I show.
Yeah, that's really funny because it's exactly the same scene that I would have picked, because I feel like at that moment you're in a nice flow of the movie. Like their chemistry is nice. You get introduction of the daughter. The singing is nice, and the crowd is enjoying themselves. Like it's a really like joyous moment. So I would probably recommend that scene out of all of them, because the other one sometimes it's too much. It will give too much away. You don't want to give too much.
100%. I get what you mean.
Yeah. When trailers do that. You have been an absolute superstar. I laughed and frowned at some of the things that you have said. And it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And I wish you absolute best of luck. And I hope your 2021 is amazing.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.